My life changed dramatically in May 2005. However, I found that the chaos that surrounds your everyday life might become too much to handle during your worst moments. I was diagnosed with sudden significant hearing loss while recording my new album, Black Roses. What was Foxy Brown's actual fate? She rose quickly, but she also fell quickly. From violent outbursts on cruise ships and beauty salons that made national headlines to attacks and probation violations that led to her incarceration, she has been accused of hitting journalists and hurling phones at neighbors. Foxy's legal issues quickly accumulated. She also became known for her diva-like demands and rageful outbursts, which turned off both fans and co-workers. She also tragically lost almost all of her hearing in 2005. What actually became of the rapper who was born in Brooklyn and appeared to be headed for rap royalty? Did she ruin her own prospects? Or was she just a casualty of the cruel limelight of fame? And after years of loss, controversy, and heartache, where is she now? Stay tuned as we reveal Foxy Brown's terrible demise. Inga Marchand, the future Foxy Brown, was born to Trinidadian immigrant parents and grew up in Brooklyn's Park Slope area. She always felt she was destined for something more. She described how she witnessed others around her become embroiled in welfare issues and adolescent pregnancies in an interview with the New York Post. "I didn't want to be the young black woman on welfare, the father of the child, or the mother of the child." She remembered that wasn't going to be my narrative. At the age of 14, Inenga found a skill for rhyming that would transform her life. Despite her initial goal of becoming a criminal justice lawyer, DJ Clark Kent and the Trackmasters production crew were instantly drawn to her incisive lyrics. They recognized her potential and started making plans to make the adolescent a global celebrity. After becoming well known as Queen Nefertiti on the open mic scene in New York City, she changed her identity to Big Shorty and even signed a record deal with Capitol Records. Vibe claims that she eventually changed her stage name once more to AKA before the label dropped her. She went to Bad Boy Records, determined to succeed, but Puff Daddy declined to sign her. Inenga continued to reinvent herself, refusing to give up. This time, it's based on the famous 1974 part of Foxy Brown, played by actress Pam Grier. She started writing lyrics that became her signature, celebrating frank sexuality, expensive luxury, and the mafia lifestyle. She met Jay-Z, an older up-and-coming rapper, when she was barely 15 years old, and the two of them started creating a musical legacy. Additionally, she received the support of powerful industry insiders like Tone, Steve Stout, and Chris Lighty of Violator Records, who got her a feature on LL Cool J's remix of I Shot You. Foxy's unvarnished brave verse on the song, which even alluded to unprotected sex and being disease-infested, astounded listeners and solidified her audacious style at the age of just 17. Kimberly Lil Kim Jones was making her debut in the rap scene across town at the same time. Later, Foxy revealed to Vibe that she and Kim would discuss their plans to conquer hip-hop together over the phone until 6 in the morning. They even pledged to always be there for one another. After getting in touch with the infamous B.I., Lil Kim was appointed as his Junior Ma 5A crew's first lady. However, Foxy herself had originally been considered for a seat in Junior MAIA as well, though that plan ultimately never came to be, according to Foxy Brown's associate, DJ Clark Kent. Foxy and Kim maintained their excellent relations in spite of this. Shortly after, Kim wanted to include Foxy on a phone call with rappers Nas and AZ so she could demonstrate her freestyle abilities. AZ was so taken by her talent that he traveled straight to her Brooklyn neighborhood to meet her face-to-face. Foxy later told Bet. In an attempt to advance her career, AZ then set up a meeting between Foxy and Nas. When Nas first saw Foxy, he thought, "She's a beautiful, beautiful sister and she has bars," he remarked on Drink Champs. "She's going to win." In an attempt to get her a record deal, Nas even flew her to Los Angeles to meet Jimmy Iove at Interscope Records, Aftermath's parent company. However, Nas came to the conclusion that she was already destined for success on her own. so he took a step back and let her fly. The two became close friends, and Foxy later disclosed on Rap City that Naz was the one who initially called her Nana. She then changed the term to Il Nana, a colloquial allusion to female anatomy that Foxy claimed gave her more self-assurance and gave her more authority as a teenager. She wholeheartedly accepted the name and incorporated it into her public image. Foxy's momentum kept increasing. Their increasing impact in hip-hop was solidified when she contributed a verse to Jay-Z's Ain't No, which was also used on the soundtrack of The Nutty Professor. As Foxy's celebrity soared, she also appeared on Case's famous song, Touch Me, Tease Me, which further increased her profile. There was a furious bidding battle amongst major labels. Despite Puffy's repeated attempts to sign her, she ultimately decided to deal with Def Jam Records. Rumors about Foxy's personal life started to circulate almost immediately, tying her romantically to a number of well-known figures, including as Master P, NBA player Allen Iverson, and Jay-Z. According to reports, Foxy Brown started dating Dog Pound artist Corrupt around 1996. Their relationship looked good at first, but it would end badly. Later, more on that. A significant turning point for female rap occurred in that same year. Lil' Kim released her first solo album, Hardcore, on November 12, 1996. Foxy released her own debut album, Il Na, a week later. The album was one of the top charting rap albums of that year, debuting at number 7 on the Billboard 200. Collaborations with Blackreat on Get Me Home and Jay-Z on Albi were among them, and Il Na Na had already achieved platinum status in a few of months. The Source magazine's cover featured Foxy and Lil' Kim together in February 1997. Journalist Michael Gonzalez interviewed them separately and was quick to observe the apparent differences between the two women. Lil' Kim was very sweet, like someone's little sister, he told 50. He called Foxy a diva, on the other hand, for insisting on using a limousine rather than a Lincoln Town car. Prior to that, in January 1997, Foxy's burgeoning fame encountered a snag while she was touring in support of her record. She was arrested in North Carolina after allegedly spitting on 2 Holiday Inn staff members and threatening to strike one of them with a fishbowl when they failed to locate the iron she had asked for. Foxy was given a 30-day suspended sentence and mandated to perform 80 hours of community service after failing to show up for her court appointment, according to the Village Voice. The firm was formed that same year when she teamed up with Nas A Nature. Before splitting, the trio put out one album together. Quickly returning to her solo career, Foxy worked on her second album, China Doll, which was released in January 1999. With her Def Jam label mate DMX, the album included the song Dog and a Fox, which peaked at number 1 on the Billboard charts. In order to promote the album, Foxy talked candidly about her relationship with Corrupt, who was then her fiancé, on the cover of Vibe magazine in January 1999. To resolve the issue, Foxy reportedly contacted and physically assaulted the author after claiming that certain aspects of the article were untrue. The relationship between Foxy and Corrupt had already begun to deteriorate by the time the magazine was published. Before learning that Foxy had been having an affair with DMX, Corrupt assured The Breakfast Club that everything was good. As a result, he called off their engagement. In an appearance with Wendy Williams, Foxy denied the affair and blamed the rumors on Eve, another rapper. Corrupt swiftly moved on from the split and started dating the late Natina Reed of the R&B trio Black. When Foxy Brown's Range Rover's brakes failed as she was traveling through Brooklyn in March 2000, her situation took an even more dire turn. She smashed into a fence after losing control of the SUV. After the accident, Foxy was taken to the hospital and given a citation for driving with a suspended license. At the same time, she reportedly went into rehab to deal with a prescription medication addiction, which was another personal struggle behind the scenes, according to MTV. The brakes went out and I just lost control of the Range Rover actually, she later explained. Her once friendly relationship with Lil Kim had turned into a full-fledged feud, and the two had started using their songs to trade jabs and insults, making headlines about their bitter rivalry. In February 2001, things became heated outside the Hot 97 radio station in New York, where Lil Kim's group ran into rapper Capone and his crew. Kim's ire over Foxy's lyrics on the Capone and Nora song, Bang Bang, is said to have been the catalyst for the altercation. Foxy tried to patch things up with Kim after the shooting, but Kim refused to accept her apology, and she ended up spending a year in jail for lying under oath about her knowledge of the incident. Despite the chaos surrounding her, Foxy continued to pursue her music. The argument turned violent, and one of Capone's associates was shot. In July 2001, Foxy and Spraga got engaged, seemingly providing her with a hopeful new chapter in the midst of so much turmoil. Her third studio album, Broken Silence, debuted at number 5 on the Billboard charts and featured songs like Oh Yeah and Nana Bake, which even received Grammy nominations. The album also featured the new man in her life, Jamaican dancehall stars. Unfortunately, Foxy Brown's problems continued in 2002 when she was arrested at Jamaica's Norman Manley International Airport for allegedly punching a police officer in the stomach, which led to her incarceration and further fueled her reputation for being volatile. By 2003, Foxy's career took yet another severe hit. In an interview with Wendy Williams, she disclosed that her eagerly anticipated album, Ilnart 2, The Fever, had been put on indefinite hold. Despite being marketed as a significant collaboration between Def Jam and Bad Boy Records, Foxy was embroiled in acrimonious disagreements with executives at both labels. In the aftermath of these heartbreaks, Foxy's relationship with Spraga Benz also fell apart, and the two ended their engagement in 2004. She later revealed that she was caught completely off guard when she learned that Shaw Puffy Combs actually owned 50% of her contract. Feeling betrayed and helpless, Foxy negotiated her release from Def Jam, but the stress of the ordeal took a deep toll on her, and she later believed the emotional strain led to a miscarriage. A glimmer of hope was on the horizon, but Foxy's legal troubles didn't slow down. She made headlines that same year after allegedly assaulting 2 nail salon employees after refusing to pay a $20 bill, and she was sentenced to 3 years of probation and forced to take anger management classes. When Jay-Z was named president and CEO of Def Jam later in 2004, one of his first actions was to bring Foxy back to the label, promising to help her career take a turn for the better. However, just as things appeared to be improving, Foxy encountered an unthinkable crisis in 2005, when she went to bed one night feeling completely normal and woke up the following morning without the ability to hear. Despite the fact that she still required the use of hearing aids, Foxy was determined to recover and promised to release a new album by the end of 2006, after doctors determined that she had sudden hearing loss due to a rare viral infection. The surgery was largely successful according to MTV. Delays and personal issues, however, prevented her from making a musical comeback. Instead, she made headlines in February 2007 after being arrested once more, this time for spitting on a beauty supply store employee and throwing hair glue. Early in 2007, Foxy Brown started dating a man named Timothy Collier. The relationship appeared to be going well until June revealed that Timothy was actually a small-time pimp. Foxy was furious and felt betrayed, so he ended the relationship right away. However, Timothy didn't take the breakup well, and according to the New York Daily News, he decided to exact revenge by ordering 3 of his employees to attack Foxy. Although Foxy initially cooperated with investigators after the assault, she later refused to testify, which led prosecutors to drop all charges in the case. Her problems didn't end there though, as she was involved in another ugly altercation with her neighbor just a few months later. In August 2007, after the women ambushed her and violently tore out her weave, stole her purse, which contained $500, and even took her hearing aid, Foxy allegedly threw her BlackBerry at the woman, knocking one of her teeth loose. after the neighbor complained that she was playing music from her car stereo too loudly throughout the neighborhood. The neighbor was granted a restraining order against Foxy, and shortly after posting bail for that incident. Foxy found herself in even more trouble. Despite the chaos, Foxy continued to pursue her musical dreams after being pulled over for using her cell phone while driving and then giving police false information, according to MTV. At the time, she was also operating a vehicle with a suspended license and registration. Plans to release Brooklyn's Dawn Diva by the end of 2007 and to drop Black Roses in 2008 were derailed by her legal battles. And in August 2007, a judge finally decided enough was enough. Foxy had signed her label, Black Rose Entertainment, to Co Records that year, and she was charged with multiple probation violations for throwing a phone at her neighbor and traveling outside of New York without permission. A week after being released from prison, Foxy Brown returned to court and entered a no-contest plea to the assault at the beauty supply store, accepting a sentence of 6 months probation. Despite her ongoing legal troubles, Foxy continued to pursue her music career. That fall, she was sentenced to 8 months in prison. Brooklyn's Dawn Diva, the album she had long hoped would be her comeback, was finally released in May 2008. But the excitement surrounding its release was soon eclipsed by rumors circulating in the industry that she was engaged to rapper Rick Ross, who did little to dispel the rumors. Although he laughed when he told MTV News, "The engagement is speculation. I'm married to the money." Foxy was able to maintain a relatively low profile for a while, but in July 2010, she was in hot water again after breaking her neighbor's restraining order. The New York Daily News reported that the neighbor said Foxy didn't like the way she looked at her, so she mowed her, lifted her skirt, and cursed at her. Even though the case was eventually dropped, the incident added to Foxy's already lengthy list of public scandals. By 2011, Foxy's problems were getting worse. She was supposed to perform at a fashion show in New York in February, but she arrived late and was reportedly drunk. According to TMZ, she locked herself in a bathroom and wouldn't leave, forcing security to physically remove her from the venue. Foxy booked a performance on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship barely a month later. The day after her performance, she had an appointment for nails on the ship, but she was 3 hours late. When the nail technicians refused to serve her, Foxy reportedly lost her temper and had to be dragged away by security. The cruise staff ordered her to stay in her cabin until the ship arrived in the Cayman Islands, where she was escorted off the boat and flown home. After attempting to maintain a low profile, Foxy's name was dragged into yet another headline in 2013, when an unverified blog claimed that Foxy had been overheard at a baby shower saying that Jay-Z was her first, that he had an STD, and that he was attracted to trans women. Foxy swiftly denied saying any of these things, telling TMZ the whole story was untrue. Jay-Z even addressed the rumors in his 2013 song Picasso Baby, indicating that he was unconcerned by them. Following years of almost complete silence, Foxy Brown appeared to disappear from the public eye, only to reappear in 2017. Rumors started to circulate when it was revealed that Foxy had returned to the public eye, directly into the raging feud between Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma. Then, in September 2017, talk show presenter Wendy Williams made a shocking announcement on air. Foxy Brown had discreetly welcomed a baby girl. Some called her a strategically placed opportunist, implying that she was attempting to connect herself with Nicki Minaj's camp to remain relevant in the rap debate. When Foxy posted a picture of her newborn daughter on Instagram a few days later, fans immediately began to speculate about the baby's father. This was particularly true after Foxy shared a video of Jamaican dance hall performer Spraga Benz and wrote the simple caption, "Daddy." The implication was that Spraga was the child's father. Foxy Brown has never officially acknowledged his paternity, but she has maintained a much lower profile since becoming a mother, avoiding the arrests and scandals that used to dominate her headlines. In 2017, Foxy Brown made a rare live appearance in Los Angeles, reminding fans of the unpolished stage presence that had once made her a star. However, There were even more dramatic rumors circulating about her behind the scenes, with insiders claiming that Foxy might actually be called to testify in the widely reported case against Keith D., the man suspected of being involved in Tupac Shakur's 1996 murder. According to reports, private talks were taking place regarding whether Foxy could make a formal statement or serve as a witness. At the same time, Foxy found herself defending herself against other unexpected headlines. As rapper Keith Murray publicly claimed that he and Foxy had once been romantically involved. According to sources, Foxy had been with Keith D. and others just before Tupac was killed, making her a potentially important voice in determining the timeline of that fateful night. Foxy reportedly reacted angrily over the suggestion, and Keith retaliated by asserting that everything I said about Foxy Brown was true. I'm sorry if I upset her by speaking the truth. My truth is the truth, and I'm not sorry for it. August 2024 is when the incident between her and I occurred. Although it wasn't specifically about her, scandal once again impacted Foxy Brown's world, when it was revealed that her previous attorney, Salvatore Strazzolo, had passed quite inexplicably. It shocked the legal establishment in New York and beyond. Strazzolo was discovered dead in his automobile parked outside his Brooklyn parents' house. Strazzolo was known as the nightlife lawyer because he represented clients in well-known and occasionally contentious situations. There was no formal cause of death established at the time of his death. Strazzolo had earlier been important to Foxy Brown. He defended her in an odd legal struggle in 2011 when she was charged with mooning a neighbor. The case was ultimately dropped in Brooklyn court. However, while Foxy went on, the life of her former lawyer grew more and more entangled with fraud accusations. For years, authorities had been looking into Strazzolo, claiming that he was exploiting his legal escrow accounts to operate what was effectively a Ponzi scam. He took millions from senior clients, according to the prosecution, and used the money to pay off additional victims and support a lavish lifestyle that included expensive automobiles, hotel stays, and good food. He was accused of embezzling more than $3.8 million in all, and he was still awaiting charges of multiple counts of fraud and first-degree grand larceny. Strazzolo was charged with stealing an additional $1.5 million from 3 different clients in a December 2023 case that is still proceeding. He had entered a not guilty plea to every charge. Despite the overwhelming amount of accusations, many concerns remain over Strazzolo's untimely demise, including how he passed away and what might happen to his clients, both past and present. Shortly after Strazzolo's passing, Foxy Brown was in the news again for a different cause, as if she didn't already have enough drama. By contacting Kim's baby daddy, she allegedly sparked a heated argument with Lil' Kim, rekindling an old enmity that would not go away. Foxy Brown was dragged into the whirlpool of hip-hop controversy in December 2024. Jay-Z, her old collaborator, is involved this time. A startling lawsuit accusing Diddy and Jay-Z of sexually abusing a 13-year-old girl years prior rocked the rap industry on December 8. The accusations made in a New York court triggered intense discussions throughout the business and pushed social media into a frenzy. Jay-Z reacted quickly and vehemently, denouncing the accusations and accusing the prosecutor, Tony Busby, of extortion. Hove claims that weeks before the case was made public, Busby sent a demand letter in an attempt to intimidate Jay-Z into settling quietly by threatening to embarrass him in public. However, Jay-Z declined. In an impassioned speech, he said that the lawsuit had only strengthened his resolve to clear his name and defend his family, adding that he was devastated to have to tell his kids about the media frenzy. During this controversy, Foxy Brown shared a few mysterious Instagram stories that many took to be her response to the accusations. Longtime fans quickly linked these posts to Foxy's own past with Jay-Z, as there had been rumors of an alleged underage relationship between her and the Rockefeller icon for decades, which she had denied. One post simply said, "Wait," and the other said, "Wow." Foxy had already closed down any rumors of a teenage affair with Jay back in October by using forceful language to confront those rumors. She wrote defiantly at the time in the icon industry, "The phony news makes me miss you. NDA isn't a living MF who could thwart my narrative. My Tigon Run 100 mil has an NDA." She continued by criticizing those who wanted to see her turn against Jay-Z, saying, "YALL want me to be anti-have so bad." Although Foxy had also shown a similar moment of surprise when she learned of Did's arrest, she provided no further insight into that case and hasn't elaborated on Jay-Z's ongoing legal battle beyond those two Instagram posts. Regarding Jay-Z, he seems ready to take on Foxy directly in the face of these startling claims. Whether she likes to or not, she is always caught in the middle of the conversation. It remains to be seen how this well-known case will develop and whether Foxy Brown will become further involved as the court drama develops. The narrative of Foxy Brown serves as a stark and poignant reminder of the devastating ways in which personal hardships, celebrity, and the intense spotlight of the music business may all come together. Foxy's legacy is complicated, characterized by both her extraordinary talent and her very human shortcomings, ranging from her meteoric rise as a teenage rap sensation to her tragic health issues, legal issues, and public controversies. Despite everything, she continues to be a legendary figure whose impact on female rap is undeniable. In your opinion, what is Foxy Brown's most enduring legacy? Her groundbreaking music or the sobering account of her own hardships? Tell us in the comments section below. For more in-depth analyses of articles like this one, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Till the next occasion.